today. Welcome to Over 50, So What? I'm Carol O'Halloran. Would you describe yourself as someone who's a bit courageous? Do you make a point of getting out of your comfort zone? Well, today we're going to meet some people up to the age of 85 taking on the giant swing, which can go to a height of 21 metres, and then you drop. Please join in with Fabulous Faye and myself for the 5-minute fitness routine. And now we're going to chat with Hearts4heart advocate Katrina Tenne. She has 5 immediate family members with heart disease. Heart failure can happen at any age. Please watch this first segment. It could save the life of a loved one. To give us an insight into how heart conditions can affect a family and why it's so important to prioritise heart health, we're speaking with Katrina Tenne. Welcome to Over 50 So What, Katrina.
Thank you, Carol.
Now, you're particularly passionate about heart health, and you've had some incidents yourself, well as not more than an incident. In 2021, what happened?
I knew something wasn't right. I wasn't feeling great. I was feeling very, very ill. I had no energy. I had a lot of things that was not quite right, and I knew that I should go and see a doctor, but I kept putting it off. I was asleep on the couch all the time, absolutely zilch energy. I'd get into the car, put a seatbelt on was a big effort. And I kept saying, oh, you know, I'm just getting older, perhaps I'm gone through menopause. You know, at that stage my 2 boys were home, living with mum and dad and working, and, you know, all the things we do, we get busy and we think, oh, you know, just soldier on and everything will be fine. But it got to the stage where I just couldn't do it anymore. I knew that I had to go and see my doctor, and I was, you know, having like chest pain and just really unwell. And so I made an appointment, and my GP sent me off to the cardiologist. He did a good job. He's now put me on medication. I will be on medication for the rest of my life. I knew that heart disease run in my family very strongly, but I thought it couldn't happen to me. It couldn't be that. You know, we just think, oh yeah, it's nothing, you know, soldier on, we'll be fine. Go and see your GP and, you know, he might give me some tablets to make me feel better. And it was like, no, I'm going to send you off to see a cardiologist, and I did, and it's the best thing I did for my health.
Now, it's interesting, isn't it, that, you know, fatigue is one of the symptoms, because most people wouldn't associate that with heart failure at all, but I do know it's a very common symptom. Just getting fatigue, and like I said, a lot of people think, oh, I'm just a bit older, I get tired more easily or whatever. Yes. But the interesting thing too is you tell us about your family history. So you've got a family history of heart disease, and yet you still weren't proactive enough till it was a bit down the track. Can you tell us about that?
I know. Unbelievable, really, because I knew that I should have gone, because my mum always said to me when my other siblings got diagnosed, Katrina, have you gone and got tested yet? And I would say, well, I don't need to. There's nothing wrong with me. I don't need to. So why should I go and see, you know? So, but now in hindsight, I see now I should have gone and how important it is. But back then I thought, nah, there's nothing wrong, until I got sick. So, and then when I got sick, I did something about it. So whether it be, you know, in your family or in your family history or not, and you have those symptoms, I strongly recommend you to go and see someone about it.
But were your brothers and sisters diagnosed before you?
They were. So I have my mum, who's her brother and her father passed in the early years with heart failure. And then my sister, who's older than me, she's about 4 or 5 years older than me. She is been diagnosed with heart failure about 20 years ago, and she's due to have a heart transplant in the near future because nothing's working for her anymore. So she has I never say that word right, fibrillator, and she has a pacemaker, and my other sister has a pacemaker, and she's on medication, and I'm on medication, and my brother's on medication, and I have a nephew who's in his early 30s who's been diagnosed in the last couple of years as well, and he's also on medication. So it does run very strongly throughout my family.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, at least he's been proactive at 30. I mean, you had a mother and brother and sister, and it wasn't until you got that you...
That's right.
Sorry to be a bit tough.
I should have gone. And, you know, being naive about it, and you can't be, and now I see that. So, and that's why I highly recommend people, if they've got any symptoms, to go and get tested. Because, I mean, I look at my boys and they have a 50% chance. I'm like my mum now, you know, like, go and get tested, and they do. And they go and get tested every 12 months because they have to.
I don't think I've ever met anyone with such a prevalence of heart disease
very, very
in the
strong.
family.
Yes.
Like, that is next level, isn't it?
It is.
So 50% chance because it's coming through your line with your kids.
That's right.
What does life look like for you now? You mentioned taking medication. How do you manage?
Well, I do manage it quite well. Like I say, I take the medication. I do get fatigued, so I probably slowed down a little bit. Some days I'm more active than others, and other days I'm, you know, feel a bit like not much energy. So I'll do what I can, and I put myself first now in my health, whereas before I was always, yes, I'll do this, I'll do that. Some days I'll just say, no, I'm not going to do that today.
So you just take medication and basically listen to your body. Your body tells you when you need to rest.
That's right. So
don't push yourself too hard. It just make health a priority.
Yeah, I still do all the normal things that I can do. Like I still work, but some days I'll rest a bit if I need to.
And so do they tell you to do more exercise?
It's very crucial for heart failure to live a healthy lifestyle, and I try and do that. Some days I'm a bit slack, like all of us, but I do put my health first.
We have a role to play, and I understand that there are, you know, we hear lots of different diseases on the radio and on the TV, but you know, the heart, by getting a heart check, it can literally just save your life. So I think it's really important that we are proactive.
Can you give us a snapshot of when you say go and get a heart check? What happens when you get a heart check?
Yeah, sure. So a heart check, generally they do a risk assessment of developing obviously heart disease. They do a cholesterol check and a blood pressure check, but at the moment they're not listening to your heart, and that's really important. That's just with the old stethoscope when, you know, back in the day we'd go in and that's the first thing that they do. Yeah. The GP is very busy, and so it's really important that we're asking them to listen to our heart.
With a stethoscope?
With a stethoscope, yes.
Okay, very good. So what are your 5 key points you'd like to leave with the viewers?
Well, I just say again, just being proactive. Go get your heart checked. There is the support that's available. As patients, or just as people, we have a part to play in the management of our own health. And I think just sharing that message with your friends and family, but you know, I just keep going back to the point, it's just really important for us to be getting our heart checked and doing what we can as individuals to live the best life.
And what would you say to people about the importance of getting the Understanding Heart Failure guide? Even if they don't have heart disease in their family, why should they become more aware?
I think it's important because it's like, I'll give you an example. My brother, and he did the right thing, and he went and got tested, and he had no symptoms at all. So he was diagnosed. It's really helpful for someone that is living with heart failure to look at the guide, because it's just, it's like a companionship for them, you know, just to look back and say, oh, you know, I should be doing this, or oh, I didn't know that, you know. So there's so much information that's crucial that you have to know. If it runs in your family, then do the right thing and go, unlike me. Even if it doesn't run in your family and you've got symptoms, it's really highly important that you go and just get tested.
Especially as you're over 50.
Yeah, well, that's it. You know, we're all getting older and, you know, we think it can't happen to us. We're not invincible, are we? None of us are.
It's the number 1 cause of hospitalisation in Australia. People over 65.
Yeah, see, I didn't know that till I read the book. I read the heart guide. Yeah.
So don't put it off.
Don't put it off. Don't put it off like I did.
So what would you say to someone watching today about taking action, being more proactive? What advice would you have given yourself because you weren't proactive?
Well, you know, that's the thing. And because it did run so highly throughout my family, I should have listened to Mum. I think it's really important.
Great words of wisdom to finish with. Thanks a lot, Katrina.
Thank you. Yeah, take action, because it is serious. It is a serious condition and it needs to be recognised. And I think it's important for everybody to say that.
Thanks for watching our TV show. Be sure to hit subscribe and then you'll never miss an episode. Jump on Facebook, join our group, get in on the fun, fitness, wellness and inspiration. I'm Carol, over 50, so what?